I read an article in the Wall Street Journal yesterday that fascinated me. It turns out that people in New Jersey are now growing marijuana legally for the first time since 1933. They're growing marijuana legally for medical uses. Medical uses. Now, I believe everybody smokes marijuana for medical uses. To lessen the strain of life. Somehow, God and nature, in their ultimate wisdom, invented a plant which when smoked creates something in some people. It doesn't do a lot for me, unfortunately. I always preferred drinking, and I overdid that. That was my overdue. But marijuana, I didn't want to smoke anymore. I don't want to smoke anymore because of my lungs. You know, like asthmatic and stuff like that. But I'm very curious about the marijuana high. You know how it is. But I'm not going to get involved in it. I mean, I did when I was a kid, and it didn't mean much to me. It really didn't. I just sort of... But it wasn't particularly wonderful or anything. And I was never really attracted to it. But there's an awful lot of people in this country, in this world, who adore marijuana. And you know, you see all the marijuana cultures, and I love it in Europe when you'll go to like Amsterdam or Bern or someplace like that in Switzerland, and you'll see this kid about 28 years old walking around reeking of marijuana, and he's dressed in these hippie clothes, and he's just like looking around for the world, and you realize how harmless he seems. It's cute looking. I mean, is he going to be the president of General Motors too soon? I don't think so. Is he happy? I don't know, but he's stoned. Anyway, and now they're growing pot for the first time legally in New Jersey for medical reasons. And it's a funny article because it says nobody quite knows where the pot is being grown, is hydrophonically or something like that, and all kinds of interesting methods. I mean, in the article, they absolutely detail how to grow pot correctly, which is funny. I mean, they go to great lengths to point out how pot should be grown, and all the little methodology, which is like a joke, really. I mean, I'm sure it's a good like Wall Street Journal joke, telling people exactly how to grow top-grade marijuana. And there's going to be 6 or 7 places in New Jersey, or 4 or 5 places in New Jersey, whatever it was, that will grow it for medical reasons. Now, the reason I bring this up, because I just saw an article on Current TV, and if you haven't seen Current TV, and you have the slightest bit of progressive liberal blood in you, you must watch Current TV. Cenk Uygur is his name, the Young Turks. This guy's terrific. He's terrific. You got to watch him. On Current TV, it's one of the upper cable channels. We get channel 103 here in New York. But find Current TV if you like progressive liberal thinking. Which, of course, I don't. I can't stand it. But on that show, they on Current TV, they have a series, and they were showing how in the mountains of California, Mexican farmers, Mexican somebodies, are growing huge amounts of marijuana because it's the proper growth atmosphere, the proper whatever it is to grow marijuana, the proper conditions, the proper weather conditions to grow marijuana. And they're growing 1 million tons of it out there. And they're making all this money. Why won't the United States government simply legalize marijuana and tax the hell out of it like they do liquor and everything else, and let's cut our deficit down by about $6 trillion. I mean, can you imagine if pot were legal in this country and anybody who wanted to smoke it could, and you put a nice high price on it, at least as high as cigarettes, and you taxed it the same way. I mean, and then you used all of it for either medical or education, and don't use it for anything else, which is probably impossible to do. Legal marijuana would be a tremendous thing. I mean, everybody loves marijuana. Most people like marijuana, and if they could smoke it, they would. If it weren't illegal and it weren't so difficult to get, and if it were available, like at Duane Reade in a nice tin can, and it was $64, and you paid $10 tax on it, boy, why not? Everybody smokes marijuana who wants to. What is the deal? Who is lobbying against marijuana besides, I don't know, ultra-conservatives? I don't even know if they're lobbying against it. Everybody who I know who smokes marijuana, they just go right across the board. So anyway, it really is time to absolutely legalize marijuana and put the government in the business. Or if the government's not in the business, then anybody can go into the business, and you just have to pay a serious tax. Oh, well, I don't know why we can't do that. It seems so simple. And the money that the government could make, and that we could afford Medicare and Social Security and things like that. I mean, just be an enormous boon to that. Okay, I don't know.